Hey everyone, just wanted to do a quick favorites video. Hey guys, so this is my first video. I hope that this stays in focus. Having a hard time with technology today. We're just gonna wing it and see what happens. So let's start off first things first. The first thing I wanted to talk about today was foundation. I'll know a lot of people struggle sometimes matching foundation, finding which foundation works for your skin. I'm always on the hunt for different foundations. So the first one, which was pretty much my all-time favorite this year, was the Too Faced Peach Perfect foundation. This is in the shade Vanilla, but it is a comfort matte. I would say is pretty accurate. It's definitely not the most matte foundation that I've ever used, but it's also not like dewy. It's not going to make you look glowy or anything like that. It does set down, but it is oil free. It says it's 14-hour wear, oil controlling, and photo friendly. It does have a smell to it. It's not like the original peach collection. It's like peach and I think it says sweet fig. I don't know what sweet fig is, but it smells really good. I like the packaging. I think it's cute. It has a pump, which I can appreciate because it's easier than having to dump foundation out on your hand. I usually use this with a beauty blender, or I use the Morphe M439. It's just like a round top kabuki brush to blend this in. A lot of times I'll go in with this first even and just blend it and then use a beauty sponge over top of it just to really like push it into the skin, lay it down. Okay, so I have so much stuff here. I'm so sorry. So if you didn't grab a snack yet, you probably want to do that now. All right, the next thing I want to mention is the Wet n Wild. And this is the Photo Focus Foundation. If you can see it here. We've tested this in 7 different lighting conditions. So it says it's good with flashback. You shouldn't have any flashback with photography. Now this one is super inexpensive. I think I paid like $5 for this at the drugstore. And Wet n Wild is one of those brands that you can always buy on sale. I feel like every week it's on sale for like 50% off. Even not that $5 already isn't a good price. It's definitely become a favorite of mine. I wouldn't say it's super long wearing on my skin. I tend to get oily in my T-zone throughout the day. It usually breaks up around my nose, which is pretty typical for a foundation for me. It seems to look beautiful when I wear it at first. So like the first like 3 to 4 hours, I think it looks really good. I did use it a lot this year. This is what the applicator looks like inside. I know a lot of other YouTubers say that it reminds them a lot of like YSL foundation. This is supposed to be very comparable. I would say it was definitely in rotation this year. This was a really good foundation. So primers, which again, I should have started with before. So this one is the Becca Backlit Priming Filter. This is in a glass bottle, which I love. I love the packaging of this. It does come with a pump. Now, I will warn you, it does come with a pump. However, the pump is garbage. It worked in the beginning really well, and then I guess as I got older, I probably do need to buy a new bottle right now, but I don't know if it's just like the pump gets clogged when it gets older, if it gets thicker, I don't know. But the product itself is really beautiful. I have their other primer too, the First Light. It's like the purple one. Not as big of a fan of that as I am with this. Healthy Glow. Like I'll use this on days when I wear no foundation at all. It just kind of makes your skin look moisturized and glowy, but not like glittery and shimmery. Like it's just like very radiant kind of cream. So I do really like this underneath makeup as well. It won't prolong your makeup, but it will give you just a glow from within, like underneath the makeup. So if you're extra matte, or you're using an extra matte foundation that day, this underneath it will help give it a little bit more glow. Now the other kind of primer that I also was in love with this year, and I actually just started using this. I know this has been around for a really long time, but the MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus spray. This is a primer spray. It's a finishing spray. You can put this on throughout the day to refresh your makeup. I don't know what's in this. I think glycerin. I think there's glycerin in this, and that is what helps absorb and makes all of your powder melt into your foundation. So if you put powder over top of your foundation and you want it all to just kind of melt in and become one with your face, this stuff is amazing. It does make you look very glowy. So if you don't like being really dewy looking, you might not like this. I just love it because I love how it makes everything look. All of your powder, all of your foundation, your highlight is like boom. So that one is like, obviously there's there's nothing left in it. The next two sprays I want to talk about are the Urban Decay. Now these ones are both from the same line. This is just a newer bottle because they, I guess, updated their packaging. I have barely anything in these. I actually already bought a backup of this one just because I feel like I use this one all the time. Chill I use a lot when I'm dry. Does give you more of a dewy look again, and sometimes this is good for me, sometimes it's not. It just depends on how bad my oils are. It'll kind of, I feel like, bring on the oil because it is a dewy setting spray. This one is Chill by Urban Decay. This is cooling and hydrating. It says oil-free temperature control technology, and it does work really, really well. I usually just spray it, you know, a little bit. I won't spray a lot of this, especially if I've already used like MAC Fix Plus or something. I don't feel like I need a lot. This is just kind of adding to the dew. But this one, the All Nighter, this one is to help prolong your makeup. And I feel like it really, really does. The other one prolongs it, but like I said, it'll kind of break down eventually on me just because my oils come through a lot worse when I am using that. So this one just helps the oils a little bit more at bay without being completely mattifying, and it will definitely make your makeup last all night long. This is probably my third bottle of this. Not this year, I mean probably in the past few years, but still. Now the other, this one. Okay, so we have to talk about this. This is not a setting spray, but it is a dewy skin mist, and that is what it says in the bottle. It's exactly what it is. It comes out actually kind of, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, it's very milky looking. The spray on it though, like the pump, is a very fine mist, so like I feel like you could just spray and spray and spray and spray and it doesn't even feel like you're putting anything on, but you are, which is good and bad. Bad because this is like $50 for this bottle. Now you do get 40 ml, which is like 1.35 fluid ounces, so you're getting a good amount. The brand itself though is loaded with so much skincare ingredients into their product, which I really, really like. I know that when you buy this, the packaging, I mean, look at this bottle. This is like a beautiful bottle. I will repurchase this one. I'm pretty much done with this as it is. I just haven't rebought it yet. This is so amazing. It's good for your skin. Like I said, I love the brand. I love what they do, what they stand for. If you ever look up Tatcha online, I think that a lot of their products that they make, every purchase that's made, they donate money to a charity. So I do really like this. This is one of my favorite product. Oh, and what I was saying before, the Pixie spray, it's a Pixie Hydrating Milky Mist, I believe it's called, is very comparable to this. I don't have that, but I know a lot of people that say that is pretty much a dupe for this product. So if you don't want to spend as much money, at Target, Pixie by Petra sells Hydrating Milky Mist. I love this one. I highly recommend this. We're gonna move into concealers now because there's still a shit ton of makeup sitting in front of me and I have a lot to get through, so I hope that you guys stick around. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're hanging in here, I'm trying to hurry through these products, but I want to give you a good honest review and tell you why I love them. So just thank you for watching this and trying to support me. This is my first video and I'm really excited but also terrified just because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So if you like this, make sure that you do like it and share it. I would really appreciate it. Let me know what else you want to see in the next video. I'm gonna stop talking and we're just gonna do this because there's a shit ton of stuff on my vanity. That's all I know. Okay. So the next product I want to mention is the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I feel like everybody knows what this is. If you don't know what this is and you're into makeup, where have you been hiding for the last year? I don't think I know a YouTuber that hasn't talked about it or reviewed it. It was like the most hyped concealer of 2017 for good reason. This concealer is amazing. I'm actually wearing this today underneath my eyes. This will cover anything, definitely full coverage. I wear the shade Light Sand. This will highlight as well, so like I use this underneath the eye, in the center of my face, you know, down the whole center of my face. I use some on the chin, on the nose, around my nose where I tend to get red. This stuff is super hydrating but also full coverage through and through. This stuff is like my ride or die concealer right now. Again, I'm sure you've heard of it, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about it just because this concealer was everywhere in 2017, so I feel like you know what this is. The next product I'm going to mention is the Catrice Liquid Camouflage Concealer. This is also super inexpensive. You can buy this at Ulta and at the drugstore. It's like $5. It does cover pretty well. I wouldn't say it's like the fullest coverage. It's not as full coverage as Tarte, but it is like the closest one I've ever found to concealing like that. Just, you know, some darkness you want to cover up. I do use this the same way I use Shape Tape or any other concealer. I always do a triangle underneath the eye, and then I go down the bridge of the nose, a little bit in the center of my forehead, and then also the chin and around my mouth, just where I usually get redness or discoloration, sometimes a little darkness. That's what I like to use this for. My only complaint of this, honestly, is the scent. I can't stand it. And I just deal with it because I really like the concealer. It's $5, so when I don't want to spend that much money on the Tarte one, I will use this one. Forgot a primer. Okay, so this is the Smashbox Photo Finish Pore Perfecting Primer. So what this will do is it's a pore minimizer. So when you apply this to the skin, it will smooth out any texture that you might have. It does fill in pores. I don't know if you can like really see that or not. But I love using this in the areas where I have larger pores. So around my nose, a little bit here by the mouth. Sometimes if I have texture on my chin, because I do have some acne scarring from my PCOS. I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, and I tend to get acne around this area of my face, sometimes also along the hairline. I just find it happens a lot, especially like hormonally. So all different times of the month I'll get breakouts around this area, and it has unfortunately left me with some scars, especially for the pores. I do really love this. I have actually started using this year now, just after the new year. I bought the Tarte, I don't remember what it's called. It's the Tarte Clean Slate Timeless Smoothing Primer. And this one is a jar, which I'm not crazy about, but kind of looks like this. I've been obsessed with this for like the past 2 weeks. I mean, you can tell I've dipped in there quite a few times now. And this one was like my ride or die all year last year for filling in pores. I don't like Benefit Professional. I probably am one of the few that doesn't like that one. I do find that this one really works. It's not like some of the other silicone primers I've used. I don't like silicone on my skin. I feel like it bunches up for some reason. But this one works really well. This one is amazing, and I'm sure I'll be talking about that in a different video, but this is so good. All right, powder. So I had 3 powders this year that I was completely obsessed with, and 2 of them are affordable and 1 is not. The first one I'll mention is the Wet n Wild. This is the Photo Focus pressed powder, and it comes in, I believe, 3 or 4 shades. I could be wrong on that, but it looks like this, and mine is completely ripped apart because I just get in there with a brush and I really like press into it. I do find with a lot of drugstore powders, sometimes they have that like film on the top almost, so you have to like really get through to it. But once you do, I mean, look at that. And it does what it says it does. This is another one of those products in the Photo Focus line that was tested in different lightings, so there's no flashback with this. This is so similar to MAC Fix. It's the Studio Fix powder, I believe. The texture of it, it's so soft and super like finely pressed, so like you don't get chunks of it. It's not like gonna blow up on you. It literally just is so smoothing on the skin. Sometimes I'll just take a big brush like this one, and this is also a Wet n Wild brush, and I just swirl it in it and I will tap it off, and I will pat the parts of my face that I want to set. So when I'm doing obviously a liquid foundation, I do want to set the product so that it's not going to move around, and also when I go to blend other products on top of it, this will just help set everything so that everything goes on smooth on top. This is $5, but again, Wet n Wild is always on sale at the drugstore, so if you wait, you can probably even get it less than that, which is crazy because this product is so good. I even use the darker shades of this sometimes to bronze my face, so I love this. The next powder I'm going to talk about is the Too Faced Peach Perfect. This is a mattifying loose setting powder. Now, when I say mattifying, I don't find it to look matte. I don't think that it looks brightening at all either. It's definitely a setting powder. I mean, it'll do exactly what it says it's supposed to do. It sets everything down, but once I find that I put this on, I will use just a small setting brush. This one is by e.l.f. and I will just tap this underneath the eye for days that I don't want to bake, because sometimes I'm just not in the mood, honestly. I just want to be in a rush and I want to go. So I will conceal, and then I will tap this all over that area, and I feel like it just smooths everything out. I mean, like a baby's butt. smooth. So this stuff is great. It does have the scent like the rest of the collection, like the foundation that I said about earlier. It's that peach and sweet fig cream. This smells so much better. I hated the original peach collection. I think it smelled terrible. Some people like obsessed about it and I didn't like the smell of it. This one is so yummy. I even find sometimes if I have too much powder on and I'm like breathing as I'm trying to like bake or, you know, powder my face, and it actually, you can taste it. Like when I breathe in and I can taste it. It's crazy. Probably not supposed to do that, but hey, it's powder, it smells good. If it goes in your nose and it tastes good, then that's good. I think that this one is a little bit, like I said, it's a little bit more expensive. This one is $32 and I believe you can buy it at Sephora. The next powder I'm going to show you is the Coty Airspun powder. Now this powder is one of the, I mean, if you can see the size of this, this is insane. You get 2.3 ounces of product in here. I feel like if you buy one of these, you may never go through all of it in a life. I swear to God. I've been using this powder actually for more than last year. I've been using it probably for about 2 years. This is the first one. Oh, here we go. I'm about to make a mess. This is the only one I've purchased. I don't know if you can see how much is still left in there. I've barely even used half of it and I feel like I've used this so much. This is the translucent shade. I know they actually have like 3 different shades. Did you just see that? This is why. Don't wear black. Don't wear anything nice if you're gonna use this powder. Just wear pajamas until you're ready to go out because this stuff just goes everywhere. I don't know why. It's super finely milled. I do really, really love this powder. I find this applies best for me with a damp sponge. I'll dip my sponge into it and then I'll go in underneath the eye and just press it into the eye. Sometimes that's all I'll do is just press it in and let it go. Other times I will like hardcore bake and I will take a lot of it. I'll scoop like a good amount out, tap it, and then just pack it underneath the eye and let it sit there for a few minutes while I do like my eyebrows or something else. So anywhere I set concealer, if I'm like baking, oh my God, I got it all over my laptop. I find that it does help smooth the eye and it lasts forever. So I find this one to be like one that I use probably the most, like I said, for the price, super inexpensive and it lasts forever. So again, that's Coty Airspun. This palette is, I believe, $14, $15. They just started selling it at Ulta. This palette does come with a mirror. I love the packaging. I love the gold reflective. It does attract fingerprints, which kind of sucks, but this is what it looks like. I will also insert a clip here of me swatching some of the highlighters. My favorite one to use is this one in the bottom right. This one is probably better for more pale, fair skin. I find this one like way too much for me. They have cream as well, and this one I like never use. I don't know. This one is my favorite one. This one at the tops of your cheeks, well, it's blinding. I don't know how else to describe it. They don't look as amazing in the pan as they do on your skin. Honestly, this whole palette is worth it just for this highlighter. The next one I'm going to talk about is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder. This is in the shade Luminous Light. This is one of those highlighters that gives you the most gorgeous bridal glow. Like you can use this on your wedding day for one of those glow from within looks. I find that I literally just, I take a brush, not lying, like this, just a powder brush, and I will swirl my brush into it and put this over my entire face because I just love the glow that it gives to your skin. I haven't tried any other shades. This one is just, to me, like my perfect shade, so I've only used this one. I'm actually wearing it today, which I don't know if you'll be able to tell in this light or not, but it is so beautiful in daylight because it literally doesn't look like it's powder at all. It just looks like your skin is, you have that glow from within. That's the only way to describe this kind of product. Like I said, I wear it over my entire face just because it looks so pretty. It gives such a pretty glow. Oh, I love it. This is expensive. This is at Sephora. This is like $46, I believe. It's crazy. For a powder, this is a lot. It really took a lot for me to go for this because I was just so nervous that I was not going to either one, like it, because I'm just such a bold highlight person, but this really, really is amazing. And I will wear this actually underneath another highlighter. Like I usually highlight over top of this one, but I will put this on first. Just a light dusting all over my whole face just so that I have a full glow over the whole face, and then I can add like my wet highlight that I like right on the cheekbones. This is amazing. Your nude highlighter? If I can talk. we'll see if I can talk. So my last highlighter, I feel like this was another highlighter that was just, every YouTuber I watched talked about this at one point. Another drugstore highlighter. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighting powder. This is in the shade Precious Petals. When this first came out, it was on a display in the drugstores, and each display only had like 3. I stalked every CVS, every Rite Aid, every Walgreens, any drugstore that I could find that might have this, and none of them had it. Like, I'm talking, I was like hours away from home even, and I could not find this. So this was like one of the biggest highlighters I feel like of, and maybe it wasn't even 2017, maybe it was the year before that, but I have been using this nonstop all 2017. This is like the most beautiful champagne, like, I don't know if you can see that, but woo-woo. It's beautiful. I'm actually wearing it on my cheeks today. I love it. This is like one of the most wet looking highlights I've ever used, and it's $5. $5. For the quality of this. Like, there are some high-end highlighters that don't even compare to this. This is super good. Now Wet n Wild, this was a limited edition product when everyone was raving over it. Now they have made it part of their like permanent collection, so you can actually find this on Wet n Wild. They also have a ton of different colors now. If you're into like the holographic highlighters right now, they have all different shades of those. This one is still my all-time favorite one, and as you can tell, I mean, it's been used. Highly recommend this one. Next up is blush. I have this little trio I got in my Ipsy bag. I don't remember which month this year, but I've been using it nonstop. It's the City Color Cosmetics Be Matte Blush. There's 3 different shades in here. A lot of times I'll even just mix them all together when I use them. I have this nice like light pink, a little bit more of a purpley tone, and shade is the one I probably use the most. It's a little bit darker, but not, I don't know, it's not dark. I don't even know how to explain that color. It's like a very dusty color, but on the cheeks it looks so good. It looks like a natural flush. I use this if I want a matte blush, especially if I'm using like a really bold highlight or bronzer that has like a sheen to it, because I don't want too much shine all over the cheek, and a matte blush will help take a little bit of that away. So that one's one of my faves. Now the next 2 I need to talk about. These were more end of the year favorites for me. These are the Butter Blushes by Physicians Formula. They have Maru oil, I believe, in them. They're just super buttery, like literally butter blush. I mean, obviously. They're so soft, and the shade on these do have a sheen as well. If you can't tell a theme here, I tend to lean towards products that have somewhat of a sheen just because I like the glowiness of it. These are probably one of the best drugstore blushes I've ever tried. I love the formula of these. They last all day long. They just always look good. This one is the shade Vintage Rouge, and then I also have Natural Glow, which is this one. And they do come also, the bottom has a mirror and a brush as well, but I never use it. I know there's a couple other shades out in this range. These are just the 2 that I picked up. Again, Physicians Formula is always on sale at the drugstore, so if you wait for a sale, you can usually, you know, buy one, get one half off, always. So if you are interested in those, they are at the drugstore and at Ulta. Now into bronzer. I have to talk about Physicians Formula bronzer as well, because this bronzer is the best bronzer, I don't know if I want to say of all time, but it truly is like universal. They just came out with even more shades in this. Before they only had 2 shades, and this is the darker of the 2, so if that goes to tell you anything, I mean, they really need to step up their range, because this is not even that dark. So like anyone with darker skin tones probably won't be able to use this as a bronzer, but I do use this because I'm pretty fair. Can't even see it on camera, but it is what I'm wearing today on my cheeks. Is the perfect tone. So even on days when I don't really want a full-blown contour, I will just throw this on. It does warm up the face, but it also kind of sculpts it a little bit. This one has Maru oil in it as well, so it's good for your skin. It's very soft, and I just find like it lasts so well on my skin, and it's $14.99 I believe at the drugstore, which for drugstore that is a little bit high price for drugstore, but I feel like it's worth it. So I highly recommend this one. The next one I'll mention, and I don't even know if I want to mention this, but I feel like I have to because I use it a lot, and I believe that they're discontinuing this. On the Lorac website, they are, I think, selling for like $10 right now, and these are like $40 usually. So they're probably getting rid of this, which is why I almost wasn't going to include it, but I do use it a lot. This is their Tantalizer Baked Bronzer, and this is in, just says face and body bronzing powder. It says 2885. I don't know if that's the number or not. Yeah, this one I got on Look on a sale, probably for like the same amount, like $10 back in the beginning of the year last year, and I have been using it a lot. I didn't use it today. I usually use it on days when I really want to warm up my face. I just kind of wasn't feeling it today, so I used my butter bronzer instead, but this one adds such a, again, a sheen, a glow. This is a beautiful powder. It's super smooth, but it does have reflect in it. I would say you can even use this as an eyeshadow or on your body. It does say face and body bronzer, so I'm sure that you can put this anywhere and it's just going to give you that healthy bronze glow. Next up is the Wet n Wild. I need to talk about lipsticks. So first one I'm going to want to mention is the Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit. These are some of the best drugstore liquid lipsticks that they have out. These are just the top 3 shades that I feel like I use the most. This top one is Rebel Rose, the middle one is Goth Topic, and this one is Give Me Mocha. They are just, they're some of the best I've ever used at the drugstore. Let's just say that they're $5. They have so many different shades. I have even more shades, but these were the ones that I used the most this year. This one is a perfect like dusty mauve nude, like when Kylie Jenner nude was like a big thing. Like this shade looks so much like that to me, but that was like my most used one. If you want to go for a very grungy like 90s, which, oh, come on, grunge 90s. Oh, it's so good. This is like that brown for you. It's, I don't even know if I could call it a brown. Like it's like this, even like on the wand, it's like this dark, almost purpley in it as well. Like it's just so pretty. And when you put it on, it's very bold. I mean, like, it's bold. You're gonna make a statement when you wear this. But I feel like with like a really natural looking eye or like a wing, even, who am I kidding? Like a grungy smoky eye, I feel like this just looks so good. Like throw on a choker, go back to the 90s, put on a flannel. This is like beautiful. And the last one is this one. This is a more mid-range nude, which, you know, to some people they might be like, that is definitely not a nude. But for me, I feel like this is like just a dark nude for me. It's just very warm, but not too warm. It's like got a good undertone for my skin. I don't know. I really loved using this year. I use this with pretty much any eye look. Like I don't think I ever didn't use this if I had any kind of eye look going on. Maybe if I was wearing like a black smoky eye, I wouldn't wear it because it is a little, I feel like, bold for that. But I love this. I absolutely love this color. Next thing I want to talk about are the Kat Von D liquid lipsticks. I think out of every single liquid lipstick I've ever tried, these are my favorite. Now, I haven't tried every, you know, single liquid lipstick there is, but the ones that I have tried, this formula is just, oh, it's so good. I don't even know how to explain it. This is liquidy, but it dries super fast and it is very matte. So once it dries down, I feel like I don't even feel it, which I love, because when I put something on my lips, it's such a pain when I have to like constantly think about retouching it up. This, you don't have to do that. These are my 3 favorite shades. First one is Bow and Arrow, which I feel like everyone talks about, everyone loves. This one is Lolita. This is something that I wear, to me, is natural. Like this is like a nude lip for me. This would be kind of close to like the Kylie Jenner nude lip that everyone talks about. This one is probably the first, I think this is the first one I ever bought, but I love this color, and this is still my first tube, and I've used it so many times, but I feel like it just lasts a really long time. And the last one I'm going to mention is Outlaw. This is a like true red. This is bold, but she has some other versions of reds too that are in the collection. This one is just the one that I have when I was looking for a lip for a costume. I did a Harley Quinn costume, and this was the red I bought for that. I love this color. My husband loves red, so that's like his favorite color, but these are my favorite Kat Von D Everlasting Liquid Lipsticks. Highly recommend. So for lip repair, for at nighttime, for daytime, pretty much for any time I'm going to apply anything to my lips, especially because this year for me was like the year of the liquid lip. Like I feel like that's what I wore most of the time. I love Aquaphor Lip Repair. It is for dry lips. It is fragrance free. It's super cheap. It's like $4 at the drugstore. You get anywhere you get it on Ulta. I just love this before I do any makeup or put anything on my lips, especially right now in the winter when they're really dry. This stuff really helps. Okay, next thing I want to talk about is eyes. We have eyeliners. So these are my 2 favorite drugstore eyeliners. They are by LA Girl. They are the gel eyeliners. The formula is really good on these. I don't feel like they last all day in my waterline, but they do stand out a lot. I mean, they go on super creamy and I just feel like for the price, I think that they are like $3 or $4. I want to say something like that. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they're at the drugstore, so they're super affordable. They have a ton of different colors. These are just the two that I have that I've been using a lot. I have champagne and I have black, obviously. I'm using black today in my waterline, and it is just super creamy. For the price, you just can't beat it. And they have a ton of different shades, so if you like, you know, eyeliner in your waterline, or up, like I use it in my upper waterline as well. These are really, really good. If you need a liquid liner, this one is probably my favorite. I have probably 30 liquid liners, and I mean, they've been collecting, you know, it's not like I just bought 30 of them, but this one is probably my favorite one. This one is the Physicians Formula. It's the Eye Booster, and it's in ultra black. You can see it has a super fine tip. I actually need a new one soon. I think that this one's almost out, but it leaves, like, it has just such a perfect little tip on there, so you can really get a sharp line. It does lay flat against the eye, which I like. It is a brush tip, so if you're used to like a felt tip, you might not like this. For me, this is my first brush one that I used, but I really, really actually do like it. I always used felt tip before, but now I always use this one. This one, again, I think it's probably about $10 at any drugstore, Walmart, CVS, anything like that. They do sell at Ulta again, so if you are looking for Physicians Formula, always get it on sale because it's always on sale. The next thing I'm going to mention are the Stila Liquid Glitter and Glow Magnificent Metals. These are the shades that I have that I use most often. These are, again, another thing that I feel like so many people talked about this year. They are seriously amazing. Like this one, Diamond Dust, this is a new one. I just had to repurchase because I was out of the other one. I use these so much. I have them on my eyes today. I'm actually using Smoky Storm, which is this one. I will insert swatches here as well so that you can see them. The applicator is a doe foot, and I feel like when you go, like if you want a super bold look, you can just go right in on the eye. Like you can do that. For me, when I don't want it to be as intense, I will put it on the back of the hand and then take it with my finger and just kind of like pat it into the eye. But they are amazing. I don't even use regular glitter anymore because I feel like glitter with glue, it's just messy and ugh, I can't even be bothered half the time. These are amazing because you don't need to do that. They just stick to your eye. I mean, you can't really blend after you put these on, so I wouldn't like go in with more foundation after that. If you are trying to blend, this will fall out. So if you take a brush over top of it, it's going to make glitter fall, but they do stay for a really, really long time. They have so many different colors now, and they're coming out with more, I feel like, all the time. Now they did the liquid shimmer, but these are just a favorite, like one of my top products of this year. I feel like these are just amazing. I love them. Next things I want to talk about are mascaras. The next one is the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. Now I always use the L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black before this, so when they came out with this one I was super excited, especially because the brush on this reminds me a lot of the Too Faced, I believe, Better Than Sex that this is supposed to be a dupe for, and I mean even the packaging looks the same. Now I've never used the Too Faced one, so I can't really say if it is a dupe for that, but I know that people that I've watched that have done the videos say that it is, or at least probably the closest dupe you can get to that. This is like $10 at the drugstore. This mascara makes my lashes look so full, like so full. I love how black it is. Like it is super black, just like carbon black. And I'm dropping it. So I can't say enough about this. This one was another one that I feel like a lot of people talked about, and for good reason. It really is a good mascara. And the last one I'm gonna talk about, because I'm a high maintenance biatch, yes, I know. I have a lower lash mascara. Yes, just for my lower lashes. I don't use this on my upper lashes, but I do use this for my bottom. And this is actually what I have on my lashes today. It's the Rimmel Lash Accelerator. It's supposed to have a lash growth complex in it. This is what the bristles look like. I do think that this is really, really great for the bottom lashes. I don't use it for the top because I just don't feel like it gives me enough volume, but I love it for the bottom. It really separates and lengthens the lashes. And I do feel like since I've been using this, my lower lashes have gotten a little longer. So I do think that there might be something in here that works. I don't know, but I do really like this. This is in shade 003 Extreme Black. I hope that they don't discontinue this. I haven't seen it lately at the store, and I'm nervous because this is my favorite lower lash mascara. Yeah, but this, I had to mention it because this is the only one I use on my bottom lashes. I've tried other mascaras on the bottom. I just love the brush on this one to apply it. and it's super black. So the last things I use for my eyebrows are the Anastasia Brow Wiz or Brow Definer. I switch back and forth between both depending on what I'm trying to do. If I want a super like fleeky, like today I used the Brow Wiz just because I like the smaller tip for getting really sharp lines. I'm just in a hurry. I'll use the Brow Definer, which is more of that triangular kind of looking shape to it. It's got a flat edge, but it's also got a wide edge. I used these so much in 2017. They're both, I think, $21 or $23. I think it's actually really good for a product because it is good quality. I feel like Anastasia's brow products are like, I mean, besides Benefit, I think Benefit took over like pretty well this year with brows, but before that, I mean, Anastasia ruled it, and I still use these. I have Ka-Brow, which I use, but I still reach for these more. Like, I'm definitely more of a pencil person than a pomade, but I do need to mention actually the Ka-Brow because this one is actually another product that I used a lot this year, and I use shade 5 just because I like darker brows, but it is like a gel pomade. You just use this. I don't ever use this brush. I tried to use it and I'm like, I have to use an angled brush. I even have like one that I bought from Michael's, I believe. But you can just apply this the same way you would a pencil, but it's not the same. I don't know. I love this. I love the formula of this. I think it looks really, really good if you want like bold Instagram brows. I think you could make it look natural too, but I really like to use this for days when I want like a carved brow. So this is, again, shade 5 of the Benefit Ka-Brow. I do really like this as well. This is another product that is a little bit more high-end, so if you don't want to spend that much, I think NYX makes a brow gel or a brow pomade similar to this, but I do really like the Ka-Brow as well. And lastly, this is so old, it even looks gross, like I don't even want to show it to you, but my Anastasia tinted brow gel. It's like at the very end and it's like liquidy. I don't even know, it's really weird, but I'm still using it because I just love it. I actually got this in the shade Auburn. I like having the different shade because I use chocolate in the Brow Wiz. This adds a little bit more dimension to the brow. It darkens it up a little bit. I like clear brow gel as well, but this is just the one I've always used. I don't use any other brow gel. I feel like I'm committed to this and it's worth the money. It's like $20 or 20 some dollars, but it stays. My eyebrows stay. It's like glue for your brows. I am so not good at this. I'll get better. Sponges. I've already talked about this before, but these beauty sponges are my favorite of 2017. This one is a Morphe highlight and contour sponge, I believe. Super cheap. You get it at morphebrushes.com. I like this because I like the flat edge for baking underneath the eye. So again, this is, like I said earlier, I pick up loose powder and I'll pack it underneath here. Any place I want to set or highlight, stuff that I want to stay put, that won't ever like go away. The next thing I want to talk about, the next thing I want to talk about is the beauty blenders. Now they have all different shades, different sizes of these. These are just the two I used the most this year. This one is supposed to be made, I think, for foundation and concealer. This is for like more full coverage products or like thicker, but I don't think that they do anything different, honestly. I use them both for both things, so I'll use them for powder, I'll use them for foundation or concealer, pretty much whatever I want. I just dampen them, squeeze all the excess water out, and then I will use this to pat foundation all over the skin. If I want to blend in my concealer, I use the tapered end. They're great. $20. Sephora. I believe you can even sometimes get them, you know, on sale at like Haute Look. Sometimes even Sephora does sales too, but I really, really, really love beauty blenders. I feel like they're the original, they're really good, and they last a really long time. Some other sponges I've had from the drugstore kind of fall apart really fast. These ones don't. I really, really, really like these. When I apply lashes, I use the Duo Lash Glue. This is the one that has the brush. It's a brush-on adhesive, which I like. I don't like the tubes because I feel like they get super messy. This one I have a little bit more control with, but this helps keep my lashes on. It doesn't irritate my eyes. I don't have a latex allergy, but I believe that these are latex free. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. Really, really enjoy this glue. I think it's easy to use. My favorite lashes that I've used and I've applied it on so many times with are the Pure Bombshell lashes. This is what they look like. They are very dramatic. So these aren't like, no, who am I kidding? I was gonna say these aren't everyday wear, but guess what? If you like bold lashes and you wanna make a statement every day with your makeup, there are no rules, you do you. These are just something that I use a little bit more when I'm going for a very bold look. I wore these on Halloween this year. I was an elf, so I wanted super long fluttery lashes. And these do have like that tapered, super long, fluffy outer corner, so they give you that very cat eye look. These are super, super good. They're like $14, which is, to me, for this kind of a brand lash, those are really, really good. They last so long if you take care of them. I've had these since before Halloween and I'm still using the same pair. Like, they're so good. If you wanted something more drugstore, I don't actually have my favorite ones from the drugstore anymore. I need to repurchase them. They're the Ardell Wispies and Demi Wispies, I believe. They are like $5, I think, at Ulta in the drugstore. They're just super easy to apply. That one has a little bit of a thicker lash band, the Bombshell, but the Ardells are a little bit thinner. I will put pictures in now so that you can look at them, but they're just a little bit more natural, and I feel like you can wear those, you know, when you have minimal makeup on or no makeup on or a full glam, and they still just make your lashes look super wispy, which obviously they're Demi Wispies and Wispies, but I love them. I can't recommend them enough. They're $5 and I wear them a lot, so those ones are probably like my cheap favorites that I love. The last thing I want to talk about are my favorite palettes of this year. There were so many palettes, and I feel like some of them probably have been out longer than a year. These are just the ones that I have been literally obsessed with all of 2017, and I just can't say enough about them. The first one, I'm sorry, I have to talk about it. Everyone talks about it, but I need to. Come on guys, look at this. It's so beautiful. There's so many shades in here that, I mean, this whole section, just all the worms. Like my eyes today, I use this palette. This one, I love this palette. I really, really do. They're super pigmented. They blend well. They are not like overly powdery, so you don't get a lot of fallout. I just absolutely love this, and some of these shades up top here you can use as highlighters. I have the one underneath my brow bone today. Yay. This palette's amazing, and Jacqueline did such a great job. I'm so happy for her because she's amazing, and I love this palette. The next one is the Anastasia Modern Renaissance. This one was a splurge for me. I had Ulta points built up and I wasn't sure how I felt about this palette. It's just so, it just drew me to it though. The colors in this are beautiful. I love the packaging. It's like that soft felt. I had to get it. This palette is stunning. The Subculture palette, which came out this year as well, that one was super, super powdery. I do have that one as well, but this one just stood out to me more. I used this a lot more. Shimmery shades in here are amazing. The mattes are amazing. You can make so many different warm, beautiful, like romantic looks with this. Like, I can't say enough about this palette. It's like $42, and I really do highly recommend it if you love the colors in here. Other palettes I mentioned are a little bit more expensive, and I feel like you get the same quality, but there's something about Anastasia, like this palette, I don't know what it is, and a lot of her shadows are just so, so beautiful like that. I just dropped the brush. But yeah, this is amazing. And I think that that is it for my favorites. If you stuck out this whole video, I love you so much. Thank you for watching it. I'm going to be doing more videos coming up soon, like tutorials on actually how to apply makeup and not just talk about it. So if you would like to leave in the comments what you want to see, if you want me to focus on certain things like foundation, how to apply foundation, false eyelashes, how to do, I don't know, things like that, things you want me to show you how I do, leave those in the comments just so that I know that's what you want. I'm gonna do, like I said, a couple looks I have in mind already. I'm gonna be filming those hopefully soon. Editing is gonna take me the longest because I'm a beginner, but thank you so much for hanging out with me and for watching this. I hope that it helped you. I hope that, you know, I could give you some new product ideas, and just stay tuned for the future. I hope to have a lot of videos coming in the next couple months. So just let me know, and thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye. Okay. I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. We're just going with it. And I hope this is in focus, because if it isn't, I'm gonna cry.